Hello everyone, welcome back to my craft room. If you're new here to my channel, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Yvette Quale and I like to create craft tutorials for beadwork, junk journaling, paper crafting, and more. And in today's video, I'm going to do some finishing touches on some journal cards that I'm working on. These will be going in my Etsy shop here pretty soon. So just thought I would come on and do a little video on how I'm going to finish these off. So I'm going to go through a little bit of what I've done here. So I made a masterboard out of some cardstock paper or scrapbook paper that I had. And then I've gone ahead and kind of layered them up. This one I'm still in the process of making, so I'll put that over here. These four I have completed, except for I want to put a little bit of embellishment on the top here. So that's what I'll be doing kind of in today's video. And as you can see, I finished both sides of these. And I have a little bit of music paper on them. I've got a little stamping on there. I've got some Edith Holden book pages that I've kind of torn and put some of that on both sides there. And then this one has a little bird, number from the Edith Holden book, a little bit of words there, some vintage buttons, some music sheet. And this again has an image from the book, and just layered all this up. So this was a fun little project that I just started this morning. And then I've done some hand stitching around the outside of all of them. I might do some beadwork on some of these. I'm not sure yet. Kind of seeing how time consuming they are, so that the price point will be, a good price point. So here's the book that I'm using. A lot of you are familiar with this book, so I have a few pages left in here, and I actually save all of the pieces that have to do with Edith Holden. And even if it's a page like this, it's just, the back side, I'll use that and handwrite words on it and things like that. So every bit of her book gets used and saved. So I kind of treasure that, as some of you know. If you know, you know, right? And so here I've got a couple of other ones that were blank that I just thought I'd show you kind of how I did with the masterboard. If you guys want to see how I did that, I used a calendar page, like a desk calendar, and then I just collaged different pieces on there. So mine are kind of straight lined, and then as you can see on the semi-finished one here, I've done some hand stitching just around, kind of give it a little personality. And the back of these are not finished yet, so those will all be finished out, and they'll have also hand stitching around them. So I'm going to put those over there off camera. Here's a couple of the Edith Holden pages. I know some of you have a hard time kind of tearing these up, but it is, for me, it's a lot of fun to kind of take what she created and create something new out of it. So I'm sorry if some of you have an issue with that. I know in another video I did where I kind of used some of her pages, somebody was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe you tore those up, and how could you do that? And I mean, this was her diary. This was her journal for a year, and she drew these photos or pictures, and these were just kind of her thing. So I mean, if she's an artist like I am, I think she would want us to do with them what we would want to do and just be creative. So here's just a couple of the words. She has beautiful handwriting, so I use that as well. I also put some stamps on there. I got these stamps at nevermorecreation17.com, and I don't think she has any more in there. It was like a, one set that she had, so I got those, and they're just stamped on, and then I kind of embellished around them a little bit with some little stitching on there. And this is the ink that I use, the walnut stain. So I'm going to put these back in their drawer off camera here. So let's pull these over here. These are the ones that I've completed, except for putting the topper on them. So like I said, I may do some beadwork around this. I'm not sure yet. I might mix and match some with just the stitching and some with the stitching with beadwork done on them. So I've got some twine here. When I first started doing junk journaling, I wasn't really sure what to use up in here and not make it too bulky and things like that. So sometimes I'll just take this and kind of double it over and then run it through. So there's a couple different ways you can attach, and if you guys have done junk journaling for any amount of time, you know there is no right or wrong. So what I like to do sometimes is just this, and you would tie it and cut it off, and they would kind of spray out the top. So I'll show you that way here. And I just tie it in a knot at the top here, and then I usually double tie it so it's good. Now I have seen some people go ahead and put some glue on there. I don't do that, but you know, some people like to do that. So we can just take the scissors, cut this off, cut off the excess, and you can just have that at the top. So I like to decorate it up a little bit more than that. So what I like to do is just add a little bit of lace or yarn. In this case, I got this in a bag from the Goodwill. It had a whole bag of different kinds of yarns and textures, and so I just tie that around. And as you can see, when I do my stitching over here, I kind of leave the threads because I like things to look tattered and worn and like they've been around a while. So you could tie that in a bow if you wanted. I'm just going to tie it in a knot, and then I'm just going to cut these off kind of short, just so they're kind of at the top there, kind of like that. Okay, and I'm going to call that one complete. I like how that kind of looks. The next one here, I do have some other fibers here. This is a really fluffy yarn. Again, this came in the Goodwill bag that I got, and I like the colors that are kind of fall colors that go with this. So I just snip off a piece that's about 10 inches long. I just fold it in half. Now this is a little more difficult to get through the hole, and I did use an eyelet on here, but you know, you could just punch a hole in there as well. And it is hard to get it in there sometimes. I like to fold things in half so that I have, you know, 4 strands coming out this top instead of just 2. So if you can get a hold of a little bit of that fiber, as you can see, it'll just come right through there. So this one I'm going to pull up. I'm going to make it kind of even. Again, I'm not really particular about how even things are. And I'm going to take a piece of lace here. So again, I found this, here, I'll pull it over here from my little table. I have this whole spool here that I found, and it was like $1.50, I want to say, for the whole spool. And I just use it and use it and use it, and I love it. So, you know, be looking at your local thrift stores for those kind of things. No need to buy something brand new, and even ask your friends if they have scraps. You know, you can use a little piece like this size and use something or make something creative out of it. So things that people would normally maybe throw away, in junk journaling, we can use those things to create something wonderful. So with this one, I just like to kind of pull it up. Now you're going to notice that that's kind of off kilter because of the knot. So I always double knot it and then just pull that down, and these fluffy things kind of get in the way. You just got to kind of move them around so you can make it however long you want. I kind of want these to just stick out to the side like this, and I'm going to call that one complete. So the next one, I've got a little piece of muslin here. It's been tea-dyed, and with this, I'm just going to cut a strip. So I better watch my scissors, huh? I just kind of give it a little snip, and you're just going to tear it, and you're going to get a little strip like this. I could do it again. You know, it depends on how much you want that to show. So I'm just going to slip this through like this, and I'm going to pull that up. And again, I don't want to tie this in a big knot here because I want it to be a little bit more, just this sticking out the top a little bit more flat. So I'm going to take this thread here that I used around the edge. This is just a big ball of cotton. Again, I got this at the Goodwill. I think it was $1. So I use that quite often and just cut a piece off. I kind of double that over so that it's, you know, a little bit sturdier. Move this out of the way. And then I'm just going to lay that behind here, pull it around to the front. I'm going to tie a knot and pull that down. I forget sometimes to talk when I'm crafting on a video. So I do want to tell you guys, thank you so much for those of you who have subscribed. I'm almost to my 800 subscriber goal and my giveaway. I think I have 3 or 4 people away at this point. So if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so, and I'll put a link in the description box to the video where you can sign up for my giveaway. Once I reach 800 subscribers, I will have a drawing, and that person will win a prize pack from me, which will consist of handmade items that are made by me. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. Here we are. Okay. And there's that one. So I like how that turned out. And the last one here, I think I'm just going to do some fluffy fiber. I've got this one. So let's just kind of see what we want to do. So it's better to have like a too much than not have enough, in my opinion, when you're doing these things, because it's harder to it's harder to go back and try to make it, you know, when you have just a little bit to work with on the ends. So you could string this end in through the hole, but it's much easier, I found, to do the loop end and leave it in a loop until you get it through the hole. And then when you tie it off, go ahead and you can cut those open, or you can just leave them in the loop too. It doesn't really matter how you do that. So see how that's much easier than trying to run 4 strands through there. So we're just going to pull this up, and we're going to pull these 4 through the loop here, and you're just going to pull it up. Okay, and then with this, I like to make these so that they're different lengths a little bit. Just kind of cut them off here and there, and no rhyme or reason. There we go. And there's that one. So I'll show you guys this here. Let's move my stuff out of the way there. All right. And we can take a look at our finished items here. So again, I might put some beads on here. I'm not sure at this point yet, but we'll see how that goes. Make sure I'm in frame there. And take a look at them on the back. So let me know what you guys think of this project. I had a lot of fun. I had never really done a masterboard before. The back sides are just plain cardstock with some layering on them. I thought about doing both sides with a masterboard, but I thought, well, we'll try it with one side first, see how that goes. One other thing I wanted to mention is one of our crafty friends, which is Miss E over at ScapbookingWithME. She has recently lost her husband, and you know, there's some financial things there. So please go over to her channel. I'll put a link to her channel in the description box. And, you know, support her any way you can. Buy her a coffee, or maybe order from her shop. She has lots of things in her shop. So let's just all pull together and show her just a lot of love at this point. So I feel real bad for her and her family. I wish her the best, and I know that God will bless her. So let's just all pull together and help out a fellow crafter if you have the time and the desire to do that. So again, I'll put that link in the description box to her channel. One way you can help support her is just to watch her videos. So go back through and just watch her videos, and that way she'll get some money generated from YouTube. So let's all pull together and help a fellow crafter. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much.